this is what we were talking earlier about people being engaged in their schools and their community, and that's exactly what you did. Like, you obviously supported the president and his agenda, but you just didn't support him. You took it upon yourself to get involved in your local schools, and that's what you did down there in the Austin area.
I did. Thank you so much. Yes, I ran for school board. 2020 was just kind of the worldwide wake up, and the veil was pulled, and we saw not only what was wrong was happening with our federal government, but at a state level and education in particular.
Of course, that was a big issue as a mom, and Vanessa is mother of a young child. Before you know it, he's going to go off to school.
Yes.
You need more people in your school district like her.
Absolutely. Across the country, we need the moms. And we talked about this earlier in an interview. The moms are going to save this country. If you look at what's going on and how they're targeting our children, the left is after them. The devil is after them. And it's up to the parents to say enough is enough. We're not going to allow this in our schools and in our libraries.
I talk about this all the time. I believe that my community is doing this right. I tell my son all the time, we're going to change this country between the dinner table and church, right? It's conversations. But more than ever, even more so than just a couple years ago, I now understand this is about families. This is about what we're doing at home. We have to be, particularly conservative adult parents, we have to be involved in our own kids' classrooms. We have to be showing up, class mom. Maybe not everyone has to run for school board, but I am not one who wants to throw away public school. I want to get in and make it better for all of our kids so that this generation coming up, that they have every opportunity together and hopefully close that divide. But it takes us getting involved. It takes parents being there and being active in the community.
A couple of years ago, I did a story on the city of Burbank during the COVID lockdowns. They had locked down one of the most long-running, most successful bars in the Burbank area. So I went down to Burbank, and we did a little segment outside this business. Well, in the meantime, I met several patriots there, and I had a lady come up to me and say, look, I was so inspired with you calling and telling people to get involved in your local community that she ran for city council in a very liberal area. And she got on the city council in this town. And I just think, wow, if you could do it in California, you can do it anywhere.
We can do it anywhere. We can do it everywhere. But we're awake now. We're participating now. We're getting involved now. But thank you guys for everything that you do.
Well, you walked by and I was like, oh, there's some friends. You just said you talked about friends. I go, well, there goes Olivia walking by. By the way, beautiful dress you're wearing tonight.
Always gorgeous. Always well put together. The sweetest, too. And you're very active on Instagram, so we need people to follow you there, too.
I will tell you, it really took. There's a day in Instagram, like August 2021, I think. I finally had literally my coming out party. I, as an adult and someone who owns a small business, I was so concerned about talking about my politics. But not because my politics are wrong, but because of the media narrative and what that did. But I took an American flag and I played some song and I did like the whole cape, and it was like my big coming out party. And I'm so glad that I did that because I get so many messages from people that just say, thank you, please keep speaking for us. We will win this, but it's obviously going to take everyone getting involved, but it's also going to take a shift in the media, which you guys are leading. People are walking away from mainstream. They understand now that it's propaganda, and people like you are winning the media game, and we're so grateful for that.
What I want people to do, and I know not everyone can do this, but there's a lot of influencers that I follow, a lot of men and women that have million followers, 500,000 followers, but they don't talk about politics at all because they're afraid to alienate their base of supporters that buy stuff from them. That's how they make a living. But we need people that aren't normally in the political realm to come out and talk about politics. We need everyone to do it. Like, I can do it, you can do it, Vanessa can do it, but we're almost in an echo chamber. We need people they don't normally hear it from. But the people won't do it because they're too comfortable and they don't want to ruin their followers. Oh, I blog about fashion. I talk about makeup and healthy living and stuff, but I don't want to get into politics. I'm like, well, don't you understand that if we don't take back this White House and we don't push it back against the left, we are screwed. So the reason why we're like we are is, I've said this before, we've had weak Republicans for the last 10, 20 years. We've had weak Republicans. We've allowed the left to do whatever they wanted to do because we were too spineless to push back on it. Now we're in a situation we have to fight like ever before because we didn't fight 20 years ago. I need people across social media. I don't care that you've never posted anything political. Post that you got to save this country. Post that you follow the Lord. Post that you're pro-America. Post you want to close the borders. Post you want to lower taxes. Post you want to protect the school boards. You got to do that, because if you don't do that, they're not going to stop.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, one day you go, oh my God, how did we so get here? Why is it so socialist? Oh my God. Well, I wonder why. We've been telling you forever this was coming. They chose not to do anything.
It's so sad. Look what has happened to some that did. But I will tell you, more and more and more, we are seeing, when you're talking about two things that are really important to people, their money and their kids, right? It turns, even like a Mike Tyson, right? Like one of the biggest athletes of his time, and he has come out and said, like, this is, excuse my language, but he's like, this is BS. This is really a problem. I think that we're starting to see a little bit more of that, but the problem is they risk losing everything when they do. So I'm with you. I hope that more do. And then I'm teaching, my kids, I think the flip side of that is you have someone like a Taylor Swift who has that kind of platform. Taylor Swift has no business telling my son who to vote for. So what I would like to see is people of fame learning more about civics and learning more about legislation. And then if they realize they really don't know enough to influence a vote, just say nothing at all. So know what you're talking about or say nothing at all.
Right. And then again, on that topic, that's where it comes back to the parent. You may like her song, and that's okay, but she's not a politician. She may not be somebody that you want to follow politically, right? And so same thing with the actors, all of Hollywood.
Hollywood could just shut the hell up, though,
yeah,
in a
but
way.
if you like
I'm so tired of Hollywood
but you
telling
think
us
of the kids that
they
don't
own
really
everything.
understand yet, and so they love the Taylor Swift and the Beyoncés and all that. But when it comes to their political beliefs, that's where parents have to get involved and draw the line where you can listen to her song. I may bring you to her concert, but that's it.
Yeah, it's tough to do that, though. It's really tough to do
As a
that
parent, it would be hard for me.
once a kid gets 12, 13 years old, they know everything, and once they get 18, they sure as hell know everything. So you can teach somebody.
They do.
You can bring the greatest values to somebody. Your kid could go off to college for the first time, come back for that fall break. All of a sudden, they don't recognize you as their parents. They don't even know what gender they are. And by the way, they don't eat meat, because all of a sudden meat is murder. They have changed everything you've taught them in a matter of one semester. So you can raise your kid as best you can, but they are so influenced by what they see in the media and what they hear in music and what they watch on television that it's tough. I mean, it's a cultural war is what it is. And so we can do our best with our kids, but I'm telling you, they're up against the devil.
Funding. We did an international summit yesterday to kick off CPAC, and there was international heads of state, and everyone was talking about the global problem that we have with propaganda. So I don't know what the answer is, but when it comes to universities, we have to look at the funding and where that funding is coming from. And parents need to be informed, and we need to stop sending our kids there. I agree with you. It's like it's at home versus the world, but I think we have more power than we think. We pray over our children, but we are sending them. I have friends that have sent kids to college, and exactly what you just said, they're coming back a year later. They hate the world. They hate the country. They've lost all of their faith.
Celebrate 4th of July that we're the worst country in the world.
So sad. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. So you got to go. Thank you so much.
Yes.
It's always nice, and that's what live television.
44 on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
Is that right?